And good morning, I'm standing outside the lesser used entrance to Canning Town Jubilee and DLR line station, which takes you out here to Bow Creek. I've been up and down this part of the Jubilee line this morning, the Jubilee Line Extension that was built and opened in the 1990s. Yes, we're up to the decade of the 1990s and we're doing all things Jubilee. In particular, I'm heading for Southwark Station. So we're heading for Southwark Station, and that's one of 11 stations that opened as part of the JLE, the Jubilee Line Extension, which opened in stages in 1999. The first stage was actually at the eastern end when Stratford to North Greenwich opened up first, and it wasn't until 4 months later, in September of 1999, that it opened up through to Bermondsey. It then took another 2 months for the line to be opened up all the way through, with the last ever Jubilee line train to Charing Cross running on the 19th of November, and then on the morning of the 20th of November, the whole line was opened up all the way through and runs as it is now. And at Southwark, there is something which is unique to this tube station. The thing I have to do first is the thing that you can only do here. So Southwark Tube Station has its main entrance and exit, but also has a second gate line which takes you through to an area which connects up with Waterloo East Station via a separate gate line. And because of this, Southwark is the last remaining tube station where you can buy a platform ticket. Yes, for many years, on the London Underground you could pay £1 at a ticket machine for a platform ticket, but TfL removed this facility in September 2023, except for here, at Southwark Station, where it was kept so that you can walk through the tube station to get to Waterloo East Station. You type the letters PL into the ticket machine, select platform ticket, buy the ticket, and this gets you through the gate line, down the escalators, along through the upper concourse of Southwark Station, up some more escalators, and then exit through this tube gate line to take you to the area where you tap in again to get to Waterloo East. When you come through both gate lines, come up these stairs, follow the signs to platform D. You get to look down onto both gate lines just down here, and then it leads you through to platform D here. But this, to me, it's sort of my favourite spots on the tube. It feels like almost no one ever comes here. Everybody always heads for platforms A, B and C, and nobody, rarely, it feels like, ever gets the secret, it's not really secret, but it feels secret, the secret staircase to platform D. Now, did you know that the route that the Jubilee Line Extension takes today wasn't the first one proposed? There were many early options that were considered. Here's an old article from my time at Londonist that talks about one of those early proposals where the Jubilee Line could have carried on from Charing Cross and then gone to Aldwych through Fenchurch Street and then via either Beckton and or Woolwich before terminating down at Thamesmead. And as it's hard to imagine that just as a line diagram, here is how it could have looked and ended up if the whole thing was on a modern day tube map. Now, the escalators at Southwark are fun. 3 separate boards take you up each with a solo escalator inside, and they ascend to take you up to the intermediate concourse area, which has this fantastic curved blue wall. It's extremely photogenic with nice reflections, and it's definitely the sort of place where people quite often randomly stop to take a photograph. Maybe do that yourself next time you're here. But you should know that the inspiration for this blue wall comes from Carl Schinkel's 1816 stage set design for the opera The Magic Flute. There's a link in the description so you can go, oh yeah, I can see, that's where the inspiration came from. There's lots of nice touches here at Southwark, and at the Jubilee Line Extension stations, the roundels in the end of the lean on the benches is one such thing. I always like to spot those and look out for them whenever I'm passing through. There's also this Building of the Year award plaque here from 2000, and then walk to either end of the platforms and it feels a bit like a Crossrail station, as in there's a section of the platform edge doors that are never used, almost as if the Jubilee line could have one more carriage added to it in the future. Another one of my favourite things to do at Southwark is to exit the station and take a short stroll around the corner down the road called Hatfields, and here there's a point where you can walk down, cross the road, and that secret area that we saw earlier that takes you to Waterloo East, well, you can actually see it from the street if you peer in here through the window. It's just fun to see from the outside. And a fun thing to do on the inside is to go to either one of the 2 staircases that are here for a symmetrical photo. And I always used to think that this would be the perfect place for a band to take a photo for their album cover here, which is why many years ago when organising the Walk the Tube charity event, I always used to gather all 20 or so people on the steps who were taking part when crossing over and doubling back here at Southwark to get our album cover photo. And it is possible to do one by yourself, by the way. Just put your camera like I did on a steady tripod and splice together multiple shots of yourself standing in different locations. The whole of the Jubilee line, built in 1999, is fabulous, silver and space age. My favourite is still Westminster, so if you've never come to see these stations from the 90s and take some photos, then why not spend some time doing that next time you're in London and on the tube. And as that train departs, that is Southwark on the Jubilee Line and the Jubilee Line Extension from 1999 decade to 1990s. I know what station I'm doing for the 2000s decade. 2010 might be a problem. We'll talk about that in the next episode. In the meantime, thanks for watching. See you in the next video.